Confronting Childhood Trauma Series: How Avoiding Confrontation Detrimentally Shapes Our Lives. Introduction: Confronting the Shadows of Childhood Trauma. Our earliest relationships shape the foundation of our emotional lives. For many, the bond with their parents, often the primary caregiver, is a source of safety, love, and attachment. But what happens when this bond is disrupted by neglect, abandonment, or abuse, whether intentional or unintentional? For those who carry unresolved wounds from childhood, the inability to confront their caregivers about these experiences often leads to emotional pain, fractured relationships, and cycles of dysfunction that ripple through their lives. Confrontation in this context is not about blame, accusation, or hostility. Instead, it is a compassionate act of self-discovery and healing. It involves acknowledging and addressing the impact of unmet childhood needs, expressing one's feelings honestly, and seeking resolution, not only for the individual, but also for the relationship. Confrontation is a step toward breaking free from the shadows of fear and guilt, paving the way for deeper understanding, emotional growth, and healthier connections. This process is not meant to vilify caregivers, but to address the complex dynamics that arise from early caregiving relationships. When we avoid confronting the source of our emotional pain, often out of fear of rejection or guilt for questioning the person who raised us, the consequences can be profound and far-reaching. Displacement of anger. Unable to address their pain directly, some individuals displace their unresolved anger onto innocent others, such as in extreme cases like mass shootings. These tragic acts reflect the failure to process the original source of trauma. Relationship struggles. Childhood trauma often resurfaces in romantic relationships, where partners become the target of misplaced anger or unmet emotional needs. These dynamics create cycles of blame, dependency, and conflict, mirroring unresolved childhood patterns. Anger toward other parents. Many children, afraid to confront their primary caregivers, redirect their anger toward their other caregivers, who are often physically or emotionally distant due to work or societal roles. This misdirected blame prevents individuals from addressing the true source of their pain. Attachment injuries. The majority of emotional injuries to children occur under the care of primary caregivers. These injuries, often resulting from neglect or inconsistent caregiving, leave children with insecure attachments that hinder their ability to trust, regulate emotions, and form healthy relationships. Jealousy and comparison. Adults who miss childhood affection often struggle with feelings of inadequacy, leading to envy of others who seem more successful, loved, or emotionally secure. This jealousy reflects the void left by unmet attachment needs. Difficulty finding romantic partners. Men who experience childhood neglect or a lack of secure attachment often struggle to form meaningful romantic relationships. The unresolved trauma from their childhood bond frequently leads to mistrust, fear of rejection, and emotional disconnection, making it challenging to build healthy partnerships. Choosing partners as proxies. In some cases, individuals unconsciously choose romantic partners to confront their parents on their behalf, creating relational dynamics where the partner becomes entangled in unresolved family conflicts. Generational trauma transmission. Parents who have not confronted their own childhood trauma may unconsciously displace their anger and hurt onto their children, perpetuating cycles of emotional pain across generations. Mental health struggles. The emotional burden of unprocessed childhood trauma often manifests as mental health symptoms, including panic, paranoia, depression, and anxiety. Many individuals turn to medications or addictive substances in a desperate attempt to soothe their pain or recreate the connection they missed in childhood. This series aims to explore these patterns with empathy and understanding, offering insights into how unresolved childhood trauma shapes our lives and relationships. It also aims to demystify the concept of confrontation, reframing it as a courageous step toward healing and growth. By addressing these wounds compassionately, individuals can release the burdens of the past, rebuild connections, and prevent the continuation of generational cycles. Through this journey, we seek to answer an essential question: how can we move from fear and guilt to freedom and healing? This series invites readers to reflect on their own experiences, understand the broader impacts of childhood trauma, and take steps toward breaking free from its shadow, empowering themselves and future generations in the process.